Welcome to the Slightly Nocturnal Show. I'm your host, Doc Holliday. I'm here with Brew. Today's date is January 17th, 2019. What's going on, man?
Not a lot, buddy. How's it going?
Oh, it's been a busy week.
Oh, yeah.
I guess a little bit busy. I'm not really working, the government shutdown and all. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what are you busy with?
Mostly just jerking off all over the fucking house,
There was the news article today that Pornhub released that the usage in the D.C. area has skyrocketed since the shutdown.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that hit my little news stream this morning.
That's good stuff. That's awesome, actually. I gotta try out jerking off in each of these different rooms in my house that I never have time to jerk off in.
Yeah. You gotta do it at least every room once.
Oh, at least. Oh, and I was real pissed off yesterday.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. We had to
What happened?
We had to go out of town in the morning, and right before I was leaving, I was like, my Nvidia drivers need to be updated, so on both my computers, so I'll update them. So I sit down to update them real quick, and it was odd. Like on an old PC, it finished way quicker than it did on my brand new PC.
Okay.
And I was like, ooh, that's not right. Like, this one PC is 8 years old. Like, it should not have finished that at all, near as fast. And then it failed on my new PC, and I was like, whatever, okay, it fucking failed. So I redid it, and we're waiting around because I'm trying to do it before we leave, and it failed again. I was like, motherfucker, what the fuck? I was like, well, fuck it. Like, I'll worry about it when I get back home. So I get home, and all of a sudden, when I turn my computer back on, my graphics cards drivers are all uninstalled. All of them.
Oh shit.
And it comes up like you just installed Windows and you don't have it. Like, it's all in this huge font on one of my monitors. None of my other monitors will work. And then it tells me that I don't have admin rights to change anything in my device manager. It won't let me do it. Windows comes up with this big red error that I've never seen before, and it's like, you have been blocked from using this feature on your computer. I'm like, I am the motherfucking admin. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
So I'm trying to do a bunch of research. Long story short, I have to reinstall Windows.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my fucking god, I'm so fucking mad right now. I don't know what it's gonna delete. I know most of my games and big shit is on other hard drives, but sometimes that shit doesn't work right when you go back to repath it,
Yeah.
So I reinstalled Windows, which surprisingly took actually, I didn't reinstall. I did what's called a reset, which effectively uninstalls everything on your C drive and keeps all your files that you wanted to keep. Well, it doesn't really do that. So anybody who's listening to this in the future, that shit does not work that way. I will say, though, the nice thing that Windows does do now, as soon as I did it, it spit me out a notepad thing on my desktop that said everything that it had removed. So it was a nice list of things that I knew that I had to go back and install again.
Yeah.
And luckily, the only thing that uninstalled was Fortnite for PC. And I don't play Fortnite on PC anymore. I usually play it on my Xbox.
So of course it's the only thing that didn't uninstall.
Yeah. So. So it wasn't a real deal, but it was just it took hours to figure that shit out. It took longer than, because really I knew probably 3 hours into it that I should probably just go ahead and reinstall Windows, but I was like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm gonna figure this shit out. I was in that denial mode,
If I wait, it'll work.
That's right. I'm gonna find a fucking way around this bullshit. I'm not letting it gonna beat me when
it's okay.
I'm just uninstalled Windows.
I'm at 3.2 terabytes out of 3.5 terabytes of available storage on my PC. So
you need to buy some cheap hard drives, my friend.
A bunch of them, yeah.
Yeah, they're just so cheap.
It's all this damn photo editing.
Oh, you just need to delete the files then that you don't use. Surely you're not using 3.5 terabytes of photo files.
Well, no, but then the programs to do it, and then all the games and stuff like that. So.
Do you have more than one hard drive, or is it just one?
I've got 3 hard drives.
Oh. Yeah, time to get some new ones, man.
Yeah, I got a 2 terabyte, a 1 terabyte, and then the half terabyte SSD.
Well, cool. So I got some good news. I'll just go over real quick, a little spoiler. So I'm not going to put this out on the internet. The only way to know this is going to be to listen to the show. So, so we have a guest on the 27th, Timmy Indy. He's a big time YouTuber and streamer.
Mm-hmm.
So a big gamer. He's going to be on the show on the 27th. And then we have another big YouTuber and streamer, Pretty Phenom. She's she's a partnered with Origin for Battlefield 1. She's actually streaming right now. But she's like real famous. She gives away copies of Battlefield 5 every 2 days, right? Is what she's doing.
Oh, damn.
And then on the 24th of February, we got Zeke, the Geek, is going to be on, another big YouTuber and streamer. And then in the first part of March, we don't have a definite date, but Modest Pelican's going to be back on the show. So I'm excited about that. And he's another big YouTuber. So got some big guests coming up.
Heck yeah, we do.
I just want to say thanks to, well, I won't say who gave them to me, but somebody gave me and Buffy tickets to PAX South, which starts tomorrow, but we cannot go because of the shutdown. I cannot leave town. So I appreciate it. It's in San Antonio. I appreciate the free tickets, but we cannot go. So we'll try to go next year. So, but that would have been fun.
Yeah, it would have.
Anyways, so that's the schedule. I'm putting together. So we already got a flyer out for Timmy Indy coming on the show. We'll have another SNS before that show, but so that's the schedule right now.
Perfect.
I'm looking forward to it. You got anybody on the horizon you want to have on the show?
Not as of yet, no. I've been pretty well being a hermit, working. You
know who I'd like to have on the show? He might not be interested, though, is your brother.
Yeah.
I would really like to get, I'd like to talk to him about, because he's what he's going to school for.
Mm-hmm. So he actually changed his major.
What did he change it to?
He went from computer sciences to cybersecurity.
Well, even better. I still like to talk to him about it. So he can tell us how to hack the internet. So.
How to hack the interwebs?
Yes, how to hack the interwebs. But yeah, you should mention it to your brother. I'd like to have him on the show.
Yeah, I will.
He don't have to show his face or anything like that.
Yeah. So he sends me a text message today because I'm obviously looking for the domain, to get a domain for my business website.
Yeah.
So he sends me this text that said, this domain is for sale. Cornhub.com.
Cornhub.com?
Yep. $365,000 is what that domain's going for.
Speaking of domains, I think we talked about it on the show a couple years ago, but some woman she owned the domain, it was either Facebook or Google, but it wasn't like google.com or facebook.com. It was like google.something or facebook.something that was real popular. And this little old lady owned it.
Uh-huh.
And these fucks tried to give her $10,000 for it. And she was like, no. And they were like, well, what about $15,000? And she's like, yeah, I want $30 million for it.
Yeah.
And they ended up giving her, I think it was $23 million for this domain.
Holy cow. Do you remember hearing it was about a year and a half ago? Google forgot to renew their domain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sold. Some guy just bid on it jokingly and won it.
Mm-hmm. I did.
And the next thing you know is he has all this, admin access to the Google servers.
I did. I heard about that.
Yeah. Then Google bought it back
from
from them.
Company, how does Google forget to renew their domain? You would think that would be somebody's job. Somebody got fired over that shit.
Yeah, just because whoever's job it was, they don't have a job anymore.
Oh, and you worked for Google? What happened with that? I forgot to renew the domain, and we had to buy it from somebody.
We had to buy it back.
McDonald's, here we come. So, what's been going on at work this week? It's been busy?
Yeah, we've been starting to pick up. Weather's been kind of turning to shit these last couple days, so it's been pretty slow. That and the heaters out there in the shop broke, so it's a little rough forming kydex when it's 5 below.
Ooh. It's finally the weather. I think the weather's kind of broke here. I don't know that it's over for the winter, but it was in the 50s today. Supposed to get, I think supposed to get some flurries tomorrow, but after that it's supposed to be back in the 50s. And again, hopefully that's it. I am all about, like, I follow a shitload of motorcycle people on Instagram, and man, they're like, all these people are gearing up in the southeast now, taking trips. And I'm like, fuck, yeah. I just want to get on my motorcycle and ride it.
I want to buy a motorcycle again.
Oh my god, you gotta get some kind of enduro like that trip that me and you, that day trip was probably one of the funnest things I've done in the last 2 years.
Yeah, except for your drunken buddy's bike broke on me.
It was still a good day, man. That was like some of the best riding that I've done. It was a good mix. It was a good mix of riding.
It was fun. I still love that though. I need an axle nut wrench out of your toolkit. Shit, I don't have one. Here's a Leatherman. Can you get it with a Leatherman? I think so. And then I bust my knuckles open, get it with a Leatherman. Are you talking about this tool? Yeah, yeah, Doc. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I didn't think I had a toolkit on that bike. You know, the reason, like, afterwards I thought about it because I remember taking that toolkit out in my. So everybody knows, like, before me and Buffy moved in together, I lived in a little bitty house, and my prized possession, besides my dog, was my fucking motorcycle, and I had that bitch parked in my living room, like, and it's not like a living room, like, it wasn't like a fucking nice living room or anything. It's just like a shotgun living room. I had like my TV and my couch and my chair, and then I had my computer, and then behind my computer I had my fucking motorcycle, and it was to keep it out of the elements. And right now my bike is in the elements right now, thanks to Buffy. My bike and all the four-wheelers are out back. Ugh. But
yeah,
I took that. I remember taking the toolkit out because I was gonna redo the toolkit, like the thing that holds it.
Yeah.
I guess I put it back in there. But yeah, I remember halfway through fixing that fucking bike on the side of that road.
I fixed it with a K-bar Warthog and a Leatherman.
That's right. If you're gonna go riding somewhere, Brew is the guy to take with you. Anyway, I had a really good time on that ride. It was like one of the better rides that I did in the last couple of years. Even though it was just a day trip, it was fun.
Yeah. Well,
we totally should have got a ticket for what we did on the way back, coming up through that pass from Jackson.
we won't talk about that.
That was a lot of fun. That was real fun.
It was.
Riding, though.
It was. Too bad there were so many douchebags out.
Yeah.
The cars that would speed up and try to not let us pass them and stuff.
Yeah. We're just having a good time. Time.
Yeah, but leaning them corners in the Snake River Canyon on a big enduro, that was
fun.
It was definitely a different experience.
Yeah. So, but you got to get a bike, man. Then we got to get together this summer for a big trip.
I know. I'm working on it. I got to get into my own house first, though.
I hear that. Now I'm like set up for a big trip. I got a pop-up camper. I got a trailer. I'm about to buy a big truck. And yeah, like, we're going to be set. I'm so looking forward to this summer. So
I'm looking forward to it too. We'll see how the knees go. That's the other big factor with everything.
So, but yeah, I'm actually, if anybody listening is interested, I'm going to put together, like last year I put together a ride. This year I'm going to do another one. I'm going to try to go somewhere different. I'm thinking probably somewhere near Four Corners or like on the opposite side of Gunnison. is that like Arapahoe National Forest. So a good place to follow would be drwriters.com in the forums there. And I'll put it out here on the social media. I usually put together a flyer. We get t-shirts and all that good shit. So.
Okay.
But it's good to know how many people are coming so we can reserve the campsites that we need to in advance. All that good stuff. Last
and
year,
have the t-shirts made.
Oh, the fucking trip, man. I don't even want to talk about the trip. Ugh. So.
I remember you invited me on it. There's no way I could make it.
Yeah, if you want to go this year, I'll have a bike for you too. So I can probably pull together a bike. So.
Well, hell yeah! I just got to get my license then.
Yeah, motorcycle license. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How hard would it be for you to borrow a bike for a license?
Probably not very hard. The hard part would be finding a friend that has a bike.
Huh.
All my friends up here have snowmobiles.
Those are good fun toys too. I miss riding snowmobiles.
They are until you get cold.
And you gotta dress right. That's how you do that. So.
Unfortunately, I'm a fat kid, so even if I dress right, then I start sweating without realizing. and then I'm screwed because then you stop doing what you're doing and your sweat starts to freeze. Yeah.
So let's talk about this shutdown, the ongoing fucking shutdown, still going on. Now It's record breaking. And I guess President Trump decided not to use the emergency funds. And so because he didn't do that, I saw where Nancy Pelosi decided to, I guess for the State of the Union, she has to she can tell him like not to come.
Yeah.
And so she did that, and in response to it, President Trump today canceled her overseas flight for her trip for some kind of delegation. So,
yeah. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. So, but it's like, what the fuck, like.
Well, yeah, it's petty back and forth, but I thought it was funny nonetheless.
Oh, I think it is funny. I think it's funny too. And the saddest thing about it, so this whole shutdown is over a border wall. And we have border agents that are working without a paycheck over a shutdown about border security. Like, that's very ironic. And I've been reading more and more about this TSA business, and I think the TSA is going to be the thing that breaks the camel's back. They're telling people now to come 4 hours early for flights because of the lack of TSA. Like, now, like normally, you have to come 2 hours early. And to me, that's like that's fucking horrible. So say your flight leaves at 8 a.m. in the morning, you have to be there at 6, and whatever travel time in between the airport and your house. So now they want you to be there at 4 o'clock in the morning for an 8 a.m. flight plus whatever travel time. Like, that's fucking horrendous.
I'm just glad I don't fly anywhere.
Oh my god! So I'm telling you, this is going to be the thing that breaks it, because when people can't travel, like. The Atlanta airport is the busiest airport in the U.S. And it was I read today there was an 8-hour delay because of TSA. Can you imagine? More than half the day you're gonna spend in a goddamn airport trying to get on the plane.
Yeah. I also read something today that TSA has been blaring illicit rap because they just don't care anymore. Like in the airports, all the employees will just be listening to their phones on the speaker.
Did you see that guy in the Atlanta airport that took a Delta flight all the way to Tokyo? He had a gun in his carry-on.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's fucking scary. Like.
Well, yeah.
He obviously didn't have any kind of ill means to use it, but fuck, like goddamn, that's why we have TSA for that kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then you got anything else on the shutdown? I just wanted to stop, for God's sakes.
I want to stop. I don't know. I got a couple comments, mainly just about this shutdown compared to previous shutdowns.
Yeah.
So like the current record shutdown was in 95 and 96 under the Clinton administration.
Right.
But it only furloughed 284,000 employees. And that was just a dispute over Medicare.
Right.
and how the payments were going to come out. And then, we got all these people blaming Trump for this kind of stuff. And in 2013, under Obama, the government shut down over Obamacare, and he furloughed 2.1 million employees.
Right. Yeah, because that included the DOD.
Yeah. And it was a $25 billion cost to the government. Is what it cost after it was all said and done.
Yeah.
That's what they lost. So it's not just Trump shutting the government down. It's been all the presidents have had a shutdown in their time, but most of them only been 1 or 3 days.
Right, and I don't think that. I mean, with this shutdown, I don't think that it's one side. Like, neither side seems to want to give anything. And now, a couple weeks ago, the Democrats came and said, okay, we'll give you some money for the wall. But it wasn't all that he wanted, and he kind of just was like, fuck you, I'm not doing that, So, to me, it's like, that's the whole point of politics, is there's some give and take on both sides.
Yeah, which is funny because I can't remember how many years ago now it's been, but Pelosi offered $30 billion to build the wall for DACA, in exchange for DACA.
Oh my, how
so
the
people that are fighting it so hard are now, or if you look at their past, they were all for it in the past. I think 95% of it is Trump wants the wall.
Right. Oh, I think there's definitely personal now. Like, and then it's very obvious that it's personal. So. Yeah,
especially after he was not invited to the State of the Union.
Right. So, and I think that and I just wish somebody would just take that motherfucker's phone away from him, because he does not need to be tweeting. Like, he tweets shit like, "I'm here in the White House all alone. I just need Nancy and Chuck to come over and sign a deal." Like, motherfucker, it's not that easy. It ain't gonna be that easy.
Yeah, but
and I am by no means like a bit. I do not like Chuck Schumer, and I do not like Nancy Pelosi, and I'm suffering because neither one of these people want to. Neither one of these sides want to come to an agreement about this crap. So
yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of like, they need to take Trump's phone away for his tweets, but at the same time, I really love reading his tweets.
Believe me, it's very it's a good comic relief for sure.
I mean, it's a whole different aspect for me though, whereas my work is not being affected by any of this.
Right.
So I can see where your frustrations come from him trying to be so.
I think the longer it lasts, though, the more regular people will see it affect them, especially in the customer service, like in your business.
Yeah.
You'll if it lasts 2 more months right before big vacation season starts. Mm-hmm. I mean, federal workers have 30 days of paid leave every day. I'm sure everybody that I work with in my office owns a camper. Every single one of us does. And that may not directly affect you at your place, but there's federal workers in that area,
Oh, yeah. Well, it's really no different than when I was working at the dealership up there in Wyoming.
Right.
And the coal mines shut down.
Right, yeah.
Everyone was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It only took 4 days for our dealership to start feeling the effects from that.
Yeah.
4 days.
Yep, I believe it. So, and that's another thing with dealership. So in the car industry, just at my complex that I work at, we have, 23 vehicles. Now that may not seem a lot, but all over the country, all these places, they have vehicles that are not getting serviced. Like right now, there's 2 vehicles brand new pickups that I need to go pay for and pick up. Mm-hmm. And I can't do it because they're sitting in another city and they're sitting at this dealership. And every day this dealership calls my work phone, which I cannot answer, and wanting their money,
Yeah. So. Which, and then on top of it, it's not even just the business-owned phone or trucks; it's the employees-owned trucks.
Right.
Because with you in your situation, are you going to take your truck down to the dealership and have it oil changed or anything like that?
Fuck no! I'm not I'm not going to be able to afford it. Me, 380,000 people aren't going to be able to afford to do that right now.
Exactly. So it doesn't take long for effects like this, especially. We're talking 800,000 employees furloughed right now.
Right.
And it doesn't take long for 800,000 employees effects of them not getting paid to
Well, it's
reverberate through the
800,000
nation.
people not contributing to the economy right now at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But I would also like to point out, Trump's asking for 5.7 billion to build this wall, right?
right.
So that's all he wants is 5.7 billion. You know how long 5.7 billion funds the government?
Oh, it's like nothing. It's like a blink
It's
of an eye.
It's 11 hours.
Yeah.
5.7 billion funds the federal government for 11 hours. He is asking for a day's wages to do this. And I mean, so illegal immigration, which is a big thing that the wall is trying to stop, So even after the illegal immigrants' taxes that they pay, which, is like sales tax, or if they're paying rent on a place, their property tax, or even if they're using a false social security number to work under, so they're paying income tax or whatever, they're only contributing obviously it's all estimation. They can't come out with a for sure number. But so it's estimated at like 60 billion is all they're contributing to the country. Whereas with the services provided to them by the federal government, it's costing the American taxpayer $116 billion annually,
I believe
roughly.
I believe it all day long.
So the wall pays for itself.
Right.
Even if it cuts illegal immigration in half, it pays for itself.
Yeah. I saw today too the price of so it's starting to be in the news how much the shutdown is costing, and it was at 4.7 billion today.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's not the real cost. They won't know what the real cost is until it's over. But I'm sure it's well past what he's asking for.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and I will say this about the shutdown too. So I am not a fan of the IRS at all. I think it's an illegal entity. But I filed my taxes the other day, and it looks like I saw that the IRS is making 58,000 people come to work for free.
Unpaid. Yeah,
unpaid work. And surprisingly, most of them want to, because obviously they want their tax returns as well. So,
yeah.
But I read today, I got an email saying that my tax return I will get it on February 3rd or something like that. So
nice.
I guess that's a good thing. So we'll see. And I saw also an article today about where different agencies are changing people's everybody has a category when it comes to working for the feds. You're what's called a furloughed employee, an expected employee, or a exempt employee. Exempt and furloughed is the same. So if you're an exempt employee, it means you can be furloughed and you can't be required to work without pay. If you're an expected employee, that means you can be furloughed or made to come to work without pay. And all these agencies are changing these people's categories to expected so that they can have them come back to work, so shit doesn't go to fucking. But so it's the same thing, but you're like forcing people to come back to work. So in my I'm an expected employee. I'm not having to go to work right now because what I do is not a deemed an emergency
necessary
person. Yeah, but and that's why I can't go get a second employment because of that shit. In fact, in my furlough letter, it said I could be fired immediately and fined $50,000 if I go to work anywhere else. So
yeah, that's bullshit.
It's rough, The other thing too is the food stamps. So the food stamps is going to run out on the end of February. So what they've done, every state has gone ahead and given on the 20th. So in 3 days, everybody that is going to receive their February payment for food stamps on January 20th, and they've told people this is it. Make it last until March.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a whole nother thing. You're gonna have these people that are on food stamps, right or wrong, whatever you fucking think about it. But people like, so now you're gonna have these people that are on food stamps and they got to make money last, until the end of March. Like, oh, what the fuck? So.
Yeah. And like that's, I don't know, it's scary, but at the same time, I think it's going to be a good scare for the generations of welfare abusers.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, it'll be a good scare for them, because they've never worked because their parents were on welfare and their parents were on welfare. So they've learned how to work the system, and now they're gonna find out real quick that the system doesn't always work for you. But that's my personal opinion.
Believe me, I agree. It's gonna be scary and tight if it keeps on going this way. So.
Yeah, and see, like the only sort of government assistance I've ever used or had to use was unemployment. But it's not like that's a strictly government funded thing. I pay into that. Right. Out of every one of my paychecks, they take a portion of, what I would be earning, or at least the business takes a portion, right, and pays in on that unemployment insurance. So,
I agree. That shit's set to run out at the end of March, by the way. So.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm not on it.
Yeah. So if you're on unemployment, it's only funded through the end of March. So that's even like, so if you're a federal employee and I would not encourage any federal employee to get unemployment because of what happened last time. So during President Obama's administration, during the furlough for Obamacare, people went and got unemployment that were furloughed, and then they told them after the furlough was over that they didn't have to pay it back. And then 3 weeks later, the federal government came back and said, no, you're all going to need to pay it back. But it was, 3 weeks passed. It wasn't right away. So these people didn't budget for it, So a shitload of people owed unemployment a shitload, like fucking crap loads of money. And it put people in a hard place. And that's why I would encourage you not to get unemployment unless you absolutely necessary. And then it's going to fucking run out,
Yeah. I absolutely love the article that the Coast Guard came out with for their furloughed employees who are required to work without pay. It said, tips to make it until the government reopens. And the top tip was have a garage sale.
Yeah, it's in my. I have it in my furlough paperwork to do that.
Yeah.
It says ask your neighbors if you can take their trash out or do odd jobs for them.
Yeah.
Money. That's what my furlough paperwork says. Like, what the fuck? It's almost encouraging people to fucking to have these non-tax pay, taxing job. You know what I'm saying? Like get paid under the table, which is illegal.
Yeah. Well, the government's expecting you to, report those earnings.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're expecting it. I'm sure.
We'll see, I don't know, for me, so I live pretty close to a nuclear reactor that's government funded, So it's kind of interesting to see how that's going to work out.
Is obviously that the local power source? Like power plant?
Not yet. It does provide a lot of power to a lot of things, but not like the actual town.
Oh, okay.
So they're working on converting it to do that.
Is it up and running? Are people working?
Yeah.
Who is it run by? Is it run by the DOE, Department of Energy?
It's ran by the Department of Energy and the Department of Defense. So It's not just a reactor. So they actually deal with disposing
of nuclear waste.
They build that radiated armor for the M1 Abrams.
Yeah.
There. They do all sorts of cool shit there. I've actually been trying since I moved here to get a job there. But anyhow, it's going to be interesting to see how that works. Like I said, it's funded by the DOE, the DOD, and a couple of private sources. But for the most part, security there is provided by.
Who is it? Whacking Hut, or is it?
No, it's Idaho National Laboratories.
Oh, okay.
So I know.
Oh, that's those idiots that we yelled at that day.
Yeah.
That was a fun day.
All out of uniform and everything.
Oh, those fucking faggots. Oh my god.
This isn't part of our uniform.
Bullshit, motherfucker.
Then whose uniform is it a part of, Docs?
Yes, the good old days.
Yep, I remember you're like, I'm gonna go back and yell at these people. You don't care, do you? And I was like, no, I don't give a shit. Go for it.
Oh my god, yes. That was fun. Had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so this is something I know you don't give a shit about, but the first female NFL ref in a playoff game happened last week, which is a big deal.
Yeah. So actually, I really don't give not one flying fuck about it, but I did some research on it for you.
Yeah.
Just so I could be part of the conversation this time.
Yeah, what'd you find out?
So there's really not much except for the outrage of people. So that I found. So people are extremely outraged about it because they don't think they're going to be able to judge the game fair enough because they don't understand the game.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit. So.
Yeah, it is because so long as she can perform the duties of the job at the same level expected of men, there shouldn't be any problem of it. And, that game that she did rep in, it seemed like she did everything just fine to me.
Yeah, she did fine. I watched the game. She did fine. So, I think it's fucking stupid that people are outraged about it. Like, it's just fucking retarded.
Mm-hmm. But it also shows the NFL's willingness to lose the whole male dominant stigmatism, which I think
they need to. They lost a shitload of money over the last couple of years, and they're looking to pull more of a different audience now.
Yeah. So. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a good thing.
I do too. I think it's a good thing.
I do love the memes that are coming from it though. First female ref in NFL history throws a flag for something that happened 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Gold.
My fucking Cowboys lost. Oh my god.
I know. I was actually at Buffalo Wild Wings watching that game.
Fucking A. Just, every fucking year, man. We get almost all the way there, and we just cannot. It's like the little engine that couldn't hold its load. That's what I feel like. They're the fucking Cowboys. We got this awesome bitch that we're gonna fuck, and we just can't fucking last until she wants to come. Like, we just can't fucking do it. God damn it! Just fucking irritates the shit out of me. Had a great fucking season. It didn't start out so good, but man, oh man, we had a good season. And then, fuck. So, I want the Chiefs to win now. I think Patrick Mahomes, he's a rookie in the NFL, and he's doing phenomenal. I'd like to see him win. Anybody except the goddamn Patriots. I don't give as long as the fucking Pats don't win.
On a side note, my hockey team's out of the runnings for the Stanley Cup playoffs, so pretty pissed off. Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, the Avalanche.
They lost horribly to the Senators the other day.
Is it getting that time already? Are we in the race for the Cup?
Yeah. Dude, the race has been going, man. They've been scoring points to make it to the playoffs.
Who's in it?
It's not officially decided yet, but the Avs just lost enough points with the loss to the Senators. They're not going to be able to make it back.
Who's the top team right now?
Oh.
I should know this, but I don't.
Hold on, I can pull it up real quick. I got the NHL app on my phone. Let's see. So, the number one team in the whole division Me and my loud keyboard. Sorry, gotta type real quick.
How's your new mic working out? You liking it?
Well, I mean, I don't ever get to hear it, so you tell me.
I mean, that sounds good. Do you like it? I mean, it's not like in your way or anything, is it?
No, I haven't gotten my boom for it yet, so it's in my way at the moment. It's on my desk, so I have to be careful not to touch my desk while we're doing
So
this.
it looks like Tampa Bay is the Lightning.
Yep, Tampa Bay Lightning. They're first in the Atlantic Division, and they're first in the league.
And then the Columbus Blue Jackets. That must be a new team. Who the fuck are they?
Yeah, they're a pretty new team.
And then Winnipeg and the Calgary.
So you're looking at the Atlantic Division.
Yeah.
So if you look in the entire league, Calgary's second. The San Jose Sharks are third. Winnipeg's number 4, and the Toronto Maple Leafs are 5th. Colorado Avalanche are 16th in the division, or in the league. So, I don't know, it looks like they went up 7 points. I don't know how. So they might actually be able to make it.
I just want my Vegas Golden Knights to do good. I want them back in the playoffs. And they're going to be there. It looks like it. So they got a pretty good record.
They're number 7 in the league, but they're going to the playoffs, at least.
Yeah. Any of the Canadian teams I'll cheer for. So I love the Canadian teams.
Yeah. No, my 2 teams are the Colorado Avalanche and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Fuck Pittsburgh. God damn it. Fuck them. They're a good team, though. They are always good. So.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Well, ever since Super Mario redesigned the game for them.
Yep. Yeah.
I consider that guy was a god amongst men.
Indeed.
Right up there with Patrick Waugh, Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg, and Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky, always a great, right?
Oh, yes.
Speaking of hockey, I saw where Snoop Dogg got in the booth at an LA Kings game the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of hilarious. There was a fight happened at the same time he was in the booth, and he was just like, it was Snoop Dogg being Snoop Dogg, and it was kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Somebody that you don't think about that likes hockey, but apparently he loves the LA Kings. So, I have one more bit I want to talk about for gamers and streamers before we end the show. So it's come to my attention lately that these people that are just starting out on Twitch or YouTube gaming or Mixer, whatever you want to call it, whatever platform you're on, and you use social media, please, for the love of God, stop using like hashtag support small streamers or hashtag small gamers or what. Quit that shit. On Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook, all the social, you can literally, I can go in and say block these hashtags. I don't want to see any tweets from these things. And then at the same time, people will like say that if I was going to stream and I tagged Lyric, or I tagged, I don't know, who's that fucking ninja kid that plays Fortnite? You can literally, like, they can block that shit, so your tweet, like, it won't go anywhere. Like, nobody will see that shit. So if you want to get recognized, stop doing that god-awful shit. And then be careful about who you partner with. And I have a really good example of this, because I got fucking fucked a couple years ago. I was partnered, and I won't say their name, because they're huge fucking people, but I was partnered with some idiots on the internet for YouTube and Twitch, and they like send you this huge long contract about they're gonna put your shit out everywhere, which is bullshit. They don't do that because they're not legally obligated to put your shit anywhere. Like, they don't have to blast your name out, they don't have to put it anywhere. But what happens is any, like, the way that YouTube used to work before recent times, now you have to have 1,000 followers before you can even get partnered anywhere. But these companies, they take 75% of your income that you earn on clicks and ads and views. And so, like, some of my videos, they get like 16,000 hits, and this partner that I was with would take 75% of that income. Now 16,000 hits is like, I don't know, $140. So 75% of that shit went in their pocket, and then when I would get my check at the end of the month, I was seeing like maybe $18 to $20. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm getting 16,000 hits on some of these videos. One of them I had 40,000 hits, and I'm not seeing any money on it. Well, go back and read the fine print, and that's where it is. And I called the person that was supposed to be like my partner manager with them, and they're like, yeah. And I couldn't leave either. I was legally obligated to stay with these fucks for a year. So, I want people to be really careful about that shit. So, stop using the small stream. If you want to be big, be big. Like, don't fucking put yourself in don't put yourself in a category. So, that's my soapbox and my advice to fucking up-and-coming streamers and gamers that want to put their shit on YouTube and Twitch. Twitch is fucking garbage, and so is YouTube, but they're the big platforms right now. There's no other really way to get recognized. And Mixer has a contract with Xbox and PlayStation. So if you want to stream off your Xbox and you don't have like an Elgato or something like that, you almost have to use Mixer. Twitch has apps on both of those, but they're so difficult. Microsoft and Sony make them very difficult to set up. So FYI, there you go.
Yeah, I don't stream anything.
So, anyways, but that's about all I got to say. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, man.
So, if you still want to give, so if you mention,
yeah, dude, that's still going.
So if you want to mention Kill Cobra Studios or the Slightly Nocturnal Show, what is it? How much off is it?
15%.
15% off at BrubakerKustoms Customs.
BrubakerKustoms, yep.
BrubakerKustoms, yep.
Find us on Facebook. Doc here's put links to the page on his Instagram, a couple other places I've seen. So click on those, get to my page, let us know what you want, and mention that the show sent you there, and we'll get you a 15% discount.
I've seen the website that he's working on, folks. It looks good. It's looking good. So
just waiting for the LLC stuff to come through, man. Hit a little snag on possibly having to file for manufacturing license.
Well, you'll get through it. So I'll put the links in the YouTube description below. So if you're listening to this on a podcasting app or on the Apple Store and stuff like that, just go over to the YouTube or just get on Facebook, Instagram. You don't have a Twitter, though, do you?
Me, no.
You need to get a Twitter, man. You need to get a Twitter, I'm telling you. You gots to have one.
Dude, I've got a personal Twitter and I hate it.
But you gotta appeal to the masses. You gotta.
I love Tumblr.
Tumblr, oh my god, who the fuck uses Tumblr? Who the fuck uses Tumblr anymore? Do you use that shit?
People who want to look at porn.
Oh my god.
No, I really don't use Tumblr anymore. I just figured I'd make that joke. No, I don't use Twitter. I don't like it. I think it's.
So I know you're on Facebook, Instagram, and then you
Facebook and Instagram.
Coming,
Website's in the progress. Yep.
So, and hopefully we'll get some review videos out of you. We can put them up on the Kill Cobra's site. So.
Hell yeah, man! I still got them wallets and stuff to ship to you.
Well, good.
I haven't had time running the bank. Like I said, I got, like you and I were talking earlier, it's branching out pretty good. So I got a couple stores that are wanting me to send them my stuff. So you'll be able to start finding my products on store shelves, hopefully here in the near future.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Me and Buffy will try to put together a review video for one of these wallets.
Okay.
And we'll put it up and tag you in it and shit like that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for me. Brug, anything else?
Nope.
All right. Folks, stay classy. Remember to question everything. And think for your motherfucking self. Catch you next time.